They got on the plane like it was any other day. 239 people, different lives, different stories, but all heading in the same direction, from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. It was March 8th, 2014, a normal night, clear skies, no technical issues reported, and then the plane just disappeared. A massive Boeing 777, gone. No distress signal, no final transmission, just silence. For a few minutes, air traffic control tried to make contact. Nothing. Then hours passed, then days, and eventually the world realized flight MH370 had vanished. And now, a decade later, it's still one of the biggest aviation mysteries of all time. But here's the thing. They're searching again. Let's talk about what we know now, and why this case still doesn't make any sense. At 12:41 a.m., MH370 took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport. Less than an hour later, it crossed from Malaysian airspace into Vietnamese airspace. That's when things started getting weird. At 1:21 a.m., the transponder, the thing that tells air traffic control where the plane is, went dark. Not faded, not lost, turned off. Then, the entire aircraft disappeared from civilian radar. But here's what most people didn't know at first. Military radar kept tracking it. After the transponder went silent, MH370 turned left. It looped back over Malaysia, flew across the Strait of Malacca, and then disappeared again. For good. That's not a system failure. That's a deliberate flight path, and it raises way more questions than it answers. Within hours of the disappearance, 26 countries joined the search. Planes, ships, satellites, drones, everyone was in. At first, they looked in the South China Sea, where the plane was last seen by civilian radar. But then came the military radar data, and suddenly, they were searching in a completely different ocean, the Indian Ocean. This part of the ocean? Brutal, unpredictable currents, huge waves, vast, empty, even with hundreds of millions spent, even with the biggest aviation search in history, nothing. Then, finally, in 2015, a piece of the plane washed ashore on Reunion Island, a wing flaperon. Later, more parts were found on beaches in Africa, but they were just pieces. No black box, no fuselage, no answers. Let's talk about the theories. Theory 1, the pilot did it. Some believe Captain Zaharie deliberately crashed the plane. He had a simulator at home with a similar flight path. There's no proof, no manifesto. But the way the plane moved? It wasn't random. It looked like someone was avoiding detection. Theory 2, a fire on board. Maybe the crew was incapacitated and the plane kept flying on autopilot. But again, why turn off the transponder? Why change course? Theory 3, hijacking. Passengers had stolen passports. Could it have been terrorism? Maybe. But no group ever claimed responsibility, and no demands were made. Theory 4, a military shoot-down. Some say the plane entered restricted airspace and got taken out. But if that happened, someone's been hiding it for 10 years. Now, fast forward to 2024. Malaysia announces a new search, this time with Ocean Infinity, an ocean tech company from the US. They've got drones, deep-sea tech, AI mapping they've searched before, in 2018. They didn't find it, but they learned a lot. This time, they say they're closer. They've reanalyzed satellite data, drift models, debris locations, and they've pinpointed a new area. They'll only get paid if they find the wreckage. No find, no fee. High risk, but high reward. This new search could finally bring closure. Or it could just bring more silence. Now let's talk about what matters most. The people. 239 passengers, from 14 countries, mothers, fathers, children, friends. And 10 years later, their families still have no answers, no remains, no wreckage, just theories and heartbreak. One father said, "If they told me it exploded, I could accept it." But not knowing? That's worse. They've spent years chasing leads, organizing vigils, begging for truth. They deserve closure. They deserve the truth. Why do we care so much about this flight? Because it's terrifying. We live in a world where everything is tracked. Your phone knows where you are. Your watch tracks your heartbeat. Planes don't just vanish, except this one did. And that shakes something deep in us. If this can happen, if a massive, modern aircraft can disappear without a trace, what else can? The ocean still holds its secrets. But maybe not forever. Ocean infinity is preparing to return. New tech, new data, new hope. And maybe, just maybe, this time, we'll finally get an answer. Until then, the mystery of Flight MH370 remains one of the greatest unsolved disappearances of our time. If you're still here, thank you for listening. And if you believe stories like this matter, hit subscribe, because we're not done chasing the stories that refuse to be forgotten. This is Unfolded Enigmas, and we speak for the ones who disappeared.